Police in Sudan have used tear gas to break up a student protest at the University of Khartoum. There have been a series of protests in Sudan over the past 3 weeks. People are angry over the rising cost of living. Zeina Khodr is live in Sudan's capital, Khartoum. The protests, Zeina, go on. So does the government crackdown. Just how intense has it been?
Well, at approximately 1 this afternoon, students tried to take to the streets. They tried to force their way outside of the university campus. The police drove them back. They used tear gas. Students hurled stones at the police vehicles, but eventually they were forced to retreat back inside the campus. And then there was a confrontation between students who support the government and those who oppose the government. There are reports of injuries, but I cannot confirm that. Khartoum University really has become a sensitive site, which is becoming really difficult for journalists to be able to film around that area. But I was on the phone with one student who was actually taking part in the protests, and I heard the chants. They were calling for the downfall of the regime. The protests, like you said, started 3 weeks ago. They started in Khartoum University, but this is no longer about high prices. It is about changing the system of government. But I have to mention, while these protests are unprecedented, the level of opposition is unprecedented in Sudan, but at the same time they remain small, limited in size, and really the activists have not been able to keep the momentum. They blame the government's crackdown for the reason behind why this protest movement is not becoming a mass uprising.
As you say, the numbers of protesters on the streets has never been that large, in the few hundreds at best. Zeina, I wonder if you can still hear me. So the numbers have not been that large, but are these signs that we are seeing, the sort of crackdown the government is pursuing, is that a sign that it is coming under increasing pressure?
Well, definitely the government is feeling the heat, but it is still not facing a threat. We have been here over the past 2 weeks. We witnessed the demonstrations every Friday. Friday really has become the focus of anti-government demonstrators. Just a few hundred people gather, and the security forces, really, their presence is even more than the people who are protesting. But there is no doubt there is a growing dissent, especially because of the high prices. Now, the Sudanese government will say the worsening economic conditions really is as a result of the separation, the secession of South Sudan, which took with it most of the country's oil reserves. But opposition activists will tell you no, it's a result of the government's policies over the past few years, mismanagement and corruption. While most opposition activists would like to see this become a mass movement, a mass uprising, they're realizing that the failure to sustain the protest, the failure in leadership on the part of the opposition, really, they haven't been able to draw the large masses into this protest movement. But some of them do say that it might take a while. It might take a while for these economic austerity measures to actually kick in. And when people actually feel this and find more difficulty in trying to make a daily living, we may see more of these protests on the streets.
Zeina Khodr in Khartoum. Thank you, Zeina.